Okay, we're going to try this again. Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I'm hopping on this afternoon to do our Fun Fold Day 6. This is an easy Fun Fold, and I think that you'll enjoy making it. And you can either do it with the same DSP on both pieces, or like I did, I used different pieces from the same series of papers. So let me lay out here first the dimensions so that you could take a screenshot of it. And if you're watching this afternoon, if you could say hi, that would be great. I'm going to try because sometimes I can't see my comments, but I seem to be able to see mine today. So we are going to see if that works. So like I said, this is a very simple, fast, but it's still a fun fold. And I wanted to say that I looked up Lilies of the Valley to see if they always came in white. And they come in a barely pink version too. It's a different variety, but it's still Lily of the Valley. So I used my new shimmer pens, our shimmer brushes is what they're called, with our Barely Blush pink, and I did the little flowers. Now I know you can't really see how shiny and glittery they are on the video, but believe me, they are in real life. So let's get started. I had a great weekend. Yesterday we had a wedding shower for my niece in St. Louis, and it was so much fun. We played a whole bunch of fun games. We had little ones there because now everybody's getting older and has grandchildren. So we had some little kids there, so we played the game Dress the Bride with toilet paper, and the 4 little girls that were there got to be the brides, and they just loved it. And I think their moms and their grandmas loved dressing them up too. So that was a lot of fun. Of course, my sister-in-law, Lisa, bought us a whole bunch of bling so we could put some rhinestones on our dresses. It was just so much fun. It's always fun getting together with family. My children, my grandchildren, the youngest is 12. And she couldn't make it yesterday because they were having storms here in Waynesville and St. Robert, so they couldn't get to St. Louis because nobody likes driving that way in thunderstorms. So she didn't get to come. But she was going to be one of the people who helped dress someone else. She didn't really want to get dressed in toilet paper. All right, so we're going to take our card base, which is 5.5 by 7 1/4, and we're going to score it at 3. And then we're going to use our bone folder to crease it. And this is our other piece. It is a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square, scored at 1. And again, we're going to use our bone folder to get this a nice crease so that it'll lay pretty much flat. Sometimes I go both ways with my fold when I'm creasing it. It seems to make it break the fibers down even more and lay even more flat. That's just what I have found. So let's get started. I think the first thing we're going to do is, I'm not sure where I put all my pieces that I cut out for this card. I cut out all the pieces and I thought I had them laying right here. Unfortunately, I do not. That is so strange. Here they are. I found them now. They're over here on the side. I was going to say, where else could they be? So we're going to get glue happy here first. And we're going to glue some pieces together. So we're going to take this piece of DSP which measures, let me get my paper out here. This measures 2 3/4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to fit right over here. So, get out my glue here. I'm almost out of glue in my glue press, but we'll see if we have enough to finish this card. If not, I have more glue. It's getting to the very end, so you have to add a lot of pressure when it's getting to the end to squeeze it out. Okay, so we'll try this. I probably should put my ribbon. I'm not going to put my ribbon on first because it's going to be too bulky to put underneath just the DSP. So instead, this kind of ribbon doesn't fray. So I'm going to take my ribbon and now see, you can either go this way and have more white showing, or go this way and having more of the green show. Let's go ahead and do this one this way, just as a contrast to how we did this one. So I cut this just a little bit longer, and I'm just going to put a little piece of tear and tape on the back of this ribbon here, and we're going to line it up and trim it. I'm almost out of tear and tape. I just love tear and tape for things like this. So much nicer than the red tape we used to have. So I'm going to put this here, knowing that I'm going to have some of it hanging over the edge to cut off, so I don't want to go all the way to the edge. And again, with this one, I'm not going to go all the way to the edge, so I'm going to leave some of it with no tape. If I can get it on here straight so it's not going to come out from behind the ribbon. There we go. Okay, I'm going to rub that down really good so I can tear off the white backing. I'm going to have to use my Pick-A tool because nails just are not easy to work with when you're trying to, at least for me, to peel off the backing of things. And it is extra hard when you're doing the ribbon because it likes to move. Although when I did the other one, it came off pretty easily. I'm not sure why I'm having trouble this time. I can tell you it's because I'm videotaping it. Whenever I videotape something, it's 10 times harder. Let me try this piece. There we go. We got one side. Now we'll keep trying on this side. There we go. That was a little difficult, but we got it. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to lay this. I'm going to open this up so I don't accidentally tape the card closed. I'm going to lay it like this. And I'm going to lay this piece just so it comes a little bit off the top. And this piece down here, I have to get it straight. And this piece will hold it down also. Somehow I got this looking a little crooked right there. I think it's because my tape is a little crooked. Then I'm going to get my scissors, my ribbon scissors. And for a while, you know, we haven't had our snips because the manufacturer discontinued making them and we had to look for a new supply, but we found one. And so now, starting in July in the online exclusives. Or it might be in this new, I'm not sure if it's in this new catalog that just came out in June or May. They might be in there, but we're definitely going to have them again. Okay, so I'm going to take this little square here, which is going to go on this piece, which I cut really very wrong because that's not the piece I needed. That was, okay. So you want this to be 2 3/4 by 4. I don't know where that other square came from. I was thinking maybe I cut it and that was the leftover piece, but I don't know. So we're going to say by 4. We'll see if this works better. That works much nicer, doesn't it? It fits right on there with a little bit of an edge around it. So we'll add some glue to the back here. If you're on and you're watching, let me know what you did this weekend. If you had any fun and exciting things, or did you just have a nice, relaxing weekend at home? Sometimes those are very nice too. Okay, so now we have this piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue this piece. We're going to have our fold, and we're going to glue this to our card base, and we're going to line up the fold right with the edge of the card and kind of getting it even up and down. So let me add some glue to this. Whoops. There goes my glue falling over. Okay, I'm going to get this lined up here. Okay, and then this will go over here like this. And we're going to crease it again just to see if we can get it to lay flatter. There we go. All right, now we have our leaves and our flowers here. So I am going to go ahead and paint these flowers before I put them on the card. And I'm just going to get this piece of scrap paper here in case I go off the flower. I don't want to get it on my mat, or then I'll have barely blush glimmer on my glass mat, which will get on everything. Okay, so I'm going to push it a little to where it's some down there to my tip. And then it's just like you're painting. I just love these shimmer brushes. They just add a little bit of shine to your cards. It's kind of like having Wink of Stella in all the in colors. Hopefully maybe they'll come out with some of our other colors in the shimmer pens. Starting to get a little dry, so I'm squeezing just ever so slightly to add some more color to the tip. And there we go, we have those colored. Put the lid back on. Now I'm going to take my Stampin' Blend Granny Apple Green on the small side, and I'm going to color in my stem. This is another reason I needed the scrap paper, because if I do it on the glass mat, then I'll end up with Granny Apple Green on something else when I lay it in the same spot. This just takes a couple of minutes to color everything in, but it adds so much to the card. So there we go. Now we're going to place this here, and we're going to kind of place where we want things before we actually glue them down. It's going to bother me that for some reason my ribbon just looks so crooked there. Okay, maybe I'll have to put up some bling there or something. Okay, then our leaves, we want to be sure. Now, it doesn't matter if they go off down here because we could just trim them. So I'm going to put this leaf here and this leaf here and see how that looks. That looks pretty good. I do have this one flower here that's hidden underneath the leaf, so we'll take it out and we'll put it on top of the leaf. So pretty much that's how we're going to have it. And we'll trim off these ends down here. And we'll add the happy birthday over to hide where they all meet. So I'm going to take these off and add some glue to the flowers. And I'm going to remember that this last flower on this side, I'm not going to glue down so I can put it on top of the leaf. Look, I had a piece of white when I was cutting this out and this out. They were next to each other. That's why I had some white on the tip of that. Okay, so we're going to leave this one blank so we can put it on top of the leaf. We're just going to put a little drop of glue on these other flowers. Now, you could use some mini dimensionals if you wanted to. That's another thing I've seen people do. And we're going to lay this kind of centered in the middle. Now, don't worry that I didn't put any glue on the stem because the leaves are going to hold it down. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this leaf. And I'm going to lay it here like this. And then we're going to do the same thing with this leaf. I keep forgetting that you can't see it all the way to the bottom of my glass mat today. Now I'm going to slide this one underneath this flower and then line it up here so that it doesn't go off the card. It goes off just a tad and that's okay. But you don't want it going off too much. All right, very good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stamp Happy Birthday. And this also comes from the Lily of the Valley stamp set. And we're going to do it in Granny Apple Green to match our leaves. This kind of reminded me of like a window box maybe with a flower growing up out of it. This die comes from the Textured Note dies. And it fits the Happy Birthday just perfect. Now let's see if I can get it straight. Oh, I did very good. I'm not always that good at getting things straight. All right, so now we're going to glue this down. We're going to go over the stems down there at the bottom. And now, as you can tell, we have just a little bit sticking out here at the bottom, so we're going to use our paper snips. And we're going to cut those off even with this tag. You could have cut them off before, too. Okay. So now that's looking pretty good. We just need to put maybe some embellishments on there. I found in my stash of embellishments, I found these, well, I found white sequins, but then after I put the white ones in, I noticed these over here are kind of like a light pink, so I'm going to use those on this one. I'm just trying to go through all my bling and start using some of it up so I can buy some more, because I'm just getting a whole container of embellishments. So we'll just use the spatula. And we'll get it stuck to our finger instead of to the card. There we go. And we'll do another one over here. And maybe one down here on our birthday sign. There we go. So now we have the whole outside done. So let's work on the inside of the card. And then again, if I wanted to, I could take some of this DSP and make an envelope flap, because it's pretty nice to decorate your envelopes. I have insides. I have my insides always in a baggie, so that sometimes when I'm watching TV or something, I can sit here and just stamp, or not stamp, but cut out insides and keep them in that baggie. Once my daughter, for a birthday gift, got a pack of white and cut the whole pack up into card insides for me. That was a very nice birthday gift. Alright, so I'm going to use Smoky Slate here, and I'm going to add this Lily of the Valley flower here on the edge of our inside of our card. I'm going to have most of that extra branch go off the card so that I still have plenty of room to write. And then I'm going to kind of do like I did with the other Lily of the Valley. I'm going to take my Granny Apple Green blending brush and color the stem Granny Apple Green. And again, you could just leave this white if you decided you wanted to have the white Lilies of the Valley. You wouldn't necessarily have to sparkle them up, or you could leave them white and just use some regular Wink of Stella to give them a little bling. I think Lilies of the Valley are so pretty. When I was younger, we went somewhere hiking or something, and I found some growing wild in the woods and brought one of them home and planted it in the backyard in the garden, and they were there for a long time. All right, one last thing. Glue our inside in. I hope you're enjoying all these different days of fun folds that I'm doing. I'm certainly having fun finding different ideas. And this one I watched Jackie Bolas of Klompen Stampers. She has a series about fun folds, and this was one of hers, so I copied. I'm using a whole different stamp sets and DSP and stuff. I think it was like 4 years ago or something was the video I saw. So I adapted it to work with our Lily of the Valleys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And join me tomorrow. We'll see what we can make. Happy stamping. Bye.